places the squares in a grid. But anyways, so if you go in here, you can actually update how fast the game runs too. So this thing's really stupid. So we'll do like, it's moving really fast, right? It has no idea what it's doing.
So how long did it take you to make that, the visual part of it?
The visual part?
Yeah, like the layout and stuff?
Like, just the grid and like the stuff, because that only took like 5 minutes, but the actual like, the playing of the game, I've been fiddling with it because sometimes there's glitches where it just starts randomly placing the item even though it hasn't picked up the item again. I don't know why that's happening. I'm trying to figure it out. But anyways.
So what's the C#, delete C#, what does that do?
Oh, that's when it places the item, it deletes the other item that was already there because I was too lazy to make it nicer.
In the game engine. And then you said the .py is like just the AI controlling.
That's the AI. So that was 100 iterations, so it was really stupid. So if you do 10,000... Oh, it also made it so you can have a minimum amount of moves that you want it to do. So if I want it to have less than 30 moves, it will keep on getting smarter until it does less than 30 moves, which is kind of cheating, but whatever.
So what is the...
This is going to take a while.
How do we watch it? Can we watch it, or...
No,
I guess I don't quite understand that.
This is all simulated. The Python file is all simulated.
So it's like imagining running through it, but we can't see it?
Yeah, it's doing it tens of thousands of times. And then,
so then when it's done, what happens? You like play it back? Or because you just showed it moving a second ago. What was it actually doing on the screen when the little blue dot was moving around?
So that was basically... here, I'll put it back to being stupid and let it run again. So I choose the amount of iterations I want it to do.
Yeah.
And then definitely don't have this because it's going to be too stupid to do that amount. So this is the amount of iterations. I run it without debugging so it doesn't take hours. It's done. Then you can go into the text file that it updates and it pretty much just puts its whole simulated brain here. And then...
From the Python.
Yeah, if I wanted to, I could have made a C# script that could read the queue table, but that's boring, so I just cheated and I put all of the actions it did at the top.
So what are those, like squares, or? So
the actions are moving left, moving right, moving down, up, picking up the item and dropping the item. So it's
each
0 through, well, it's 6 actions, 0 to 5.
Oh, okay, nice.
So then the C# file, well, the C# script creating board, and again, you know, you're supposed to make multiple scripts when making a game, but I was lazy and I just put everything into one thing.
Yeah.
But that reads the text
So when
file.
you hit play on there, we're watching the text file move the dot around.
We're watching the final. So in the actual AI part, the Python part, we have learning, which is basically doing the tens of thousands of iterations. Oh yeah, it won't run one. So it does the tens of thousand iterations, and it updates the queue table. And then once it's done, when you actually do... once you do save queue table, basically, it uses the brain that it just made doing the thousands of iterations, whatever, and it does this one, which basically just takes... It basically just does it once instead of thousands of times, and then records the actions it did to do the simulated one, and then the game in Unity takes those actions that was recorded and then just copies them. So it's not really...
Okay.
It's not really an AI right here. It's just taking the simulated AI and then just copying it.
This is just a visual of what the AI created.
Yeah, and then I can...
Can you explain the game again now that you have the board there? I don't quite understand, like, what's it doing?
Oh, what's it doing?
What's the goal?
Yeah, so you got this grid. You got the. It's supposed to be a car, but whatever.
Oh,
this
that's
is an
a blue
item.
car. If I've ever seen a blue car.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. It's
running over people.
Yeah. So that brown box right there, it picks up the box and it needs to place the box here. But sometimes it's dumb and it places the box in the wrong spot, and then it needs to then find that box again and then put it in the right spot.
Try to place it again.
Yeah.
So what are are there rewards and punishments? Like if so, what are they?
Yeah, so in the AI, every single movement it does Yeah, it placed the box down, then picked it back up. If you saw that, every movement it does is punished by 1, which -1, which is really small. But basically, that's just so it doesn't do unnecessary amount of movements. You want it to do the least amount possible. If it tries to go off of the board, it's punished with -10 because, well, that's bad.
Yeah.
And then you can pick up the object. If you try to pick up the item in the wrong spot, you're punished with -10. If you try, there's another one. Actually, I can look real quick. I kind of forgot what it was. If you try to pick up the item and the item's already in the car, then you get punished again, -10.
Okay.
But if you try to pick up the item and it is in the correct spot, you get rewarded with 20. And then the AI can also drop off the item. So if the item's not in the car, you're rewarded with -10. If you try to drop off the box in the wrong spot, you're rewarded with -10. Well, rewarded with -10. You're punished with -10, but whatever. And then the item is placed into that spot instead. So then now it will need to pick it up in the correct spot. But if you place the object in the final goal end, you get rewarded 20.
Yeah.
So if we make it really smart with doing, we'll do 10,000, and I guess I could put the, you know what, let's not have it a minimum. Let's just have it run.
How long will that take? Just a minute?
Well, without debugging, it should only take like 5 seconds or 3 seconds
nice.
or something.
So then we can watch it move around really fast until we get seizures?
Done.
Alright, give us some seizures.
Well, no, this one will just be done in like really fast because
So
it's
this
smarter.
is just the most optimal one that it found? Is that what it's running through?
No, so what I just did was it just went back for no reason, so it's obviously not the most optimal.
Right, but
This
that's
is
the
just-
idea. It's more optimal than what it was with like 100 iterations.
Yeah, so that
It definitely was
is way
a shorter
smarter.
path.
So then if I go over here, like you said, the most optimal, I can actually change that. So this is the brain, right? And then I
Yeah.
made a thing right here that kind of tests the brain.
Mhm.
And if, well, I don't think that brain is good enough, it basically does it one more time. So 1 is like, this is the intelligence level, right?
Yeah,
And then sometimes it may be really intelligent, but it might still make some dumb moves.
right.
So if you like, hey, I want this done in the least amount of moves possible, it will keep on using that brain level until it finds a brain that figured out the most optimal move set.
Right.
So I can actually put that here. Let's change that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let's do 29 because I think that is the most optimal. If it's not, then, you know what, let's not risk that. It might not be the most optimal. Let's put 30.
So 30 is the least amount of steps?
I
or-
think 29 is, but if 29 isn't, then it'll just keep on running and I'll have to cancel it and whatever. So, okay, 30
Yeah.
worked. Which I think that means it's going to do it in 29 moves because if you go back, if every move you need to undo it, so I think
okay.
it has to be 30, but yep, there it picks up the box.
I was kind of wondering if the most optimal was literally just walking around the outside.
Yeah,
That probably is, right? Because
well,
zigzagging, or is zigzagging? It's either going to be
Zigzagging-
zigzagging or walking around the outside.
they're both the same.
Okay.
So actually, we could run that a couple times. And then
Probably
see
that
if,
might be why it's getting confused, because there's more than. I wonder if that affects it. There's more than one optimal path, more than one path that gives the optimal answer.
There we go. I can actually just keep on running this. This should go really fast.
So you're gonna solve the traveling salesman problem next?
Absolutely not. Let's see if this one does a zigzag. It probably won't, but
Come on, little blue dot. You can do it.
no.
Oh wait, sorta.
Oh, it did
Oh.
half. Oh, it did half.
Halvesies.
Ooh, it's doing something.
Oh, that's not a nice pattern.
Well, all right. It
That's
sorta
awesome,
figured
man.
out zigzag.
That's a really cool project. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I just followed a tutorial for most of this, but
Yeah, of course.
then
But it
I
sounds
made
like
the
you know how it
game.
works.
I made the game all by myself.
Oh yeah.
Yup, and I made
What game did they use in the tutorial?
They didn't. They just did the simulated.
Oh, just theory.
Yeah, they had
There's
no
no fun in
visuals.
that.
That's not interesting.
Where did you get the idea to use the text file? Was that in
I-
tutorial or?
No, I just used it in past like games I've made for like
Okay.
saving data, like high scores and whatever. So I was like, well,
Nice.
I'll just write down the whole Q table.
I like that, man.
Yeah,
Good project.
that's pretty much it. And then I need to figure out why sometimes it places down multiple objects
Yeah.
when it shouldn't be able to if it doesn't pick up the one object. Because then it won't have the
Hmm.
abilities to put down the object again, but somehow
Gotcha.
it does.
It
so
tries to
that's
put
what
it
I'm
down
working
when it doesn't. It's not holding anything.
on. Yeah, well,
Basically.
it's not holding anything, but in the game, it places down a box that should be impossible because it doesn't have it. Which I made by when you pick up the item, the boolean for whether the object is in the car is set to true,
Yeah.
and then to place the box, it has to be set to true. So it has to pick up the box first, which it picks up the box, so it's set to true,
Mhm.
and then it places the box, which now it should be false, and then it places the box, like it moves a couple and then places the box again. I don't know how it's doing it. I'll have to
Bruh.
look at it,
It's a
but-
cool project.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's goofed up right now.